going to take it back a little bit. I told you, we're building up, but we're going to definitely hit this project here, this album,
Okay.
this new one. I didn't know which one to do on that one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really didn't know which one I wanted to do, and I said, you know what? Let's go. Let's see. Let me just say this first. This Entreating is no joke.
Really?
Oh no, let me tell you something. I've been through here, but this one right here, said and done, said.
Yeah.
Said and done is yes.
Woo!
Yeah. Said and done. Because I know everybody. I know because I know the single that the initial single off of that was "Good God."
Yes.
But this said and done, I don't know how y'all didn't pull that one as the first one.
Well, it's probably because of the partnership that I'm in with Integrity Music and Ty Scott, and they really thought that the people would gravitate more towards, since I'm known as a praise and worship leader, that they would gravitate more towards Good God. And I don't know that they ever really considered Said and Done for a single. I don't think Said and Done was even in the conversation.
That to me, I think. I mean, I've heard you hit notes before, but it was the way that you navigated through that, and it had the little country flair to it, and it just really kind of. I felt like it kind of really stretched you vocally. I could be wrong. This is my opinion, but I just enjoyed that because I just saw a different side of Benita that I really enjoyed that, and I was blessed by it. Because at the end, I'm like, gee, at one point, I was in my dining saying, oh man, this lady. So anyway, all right, we got 2 minutes, so I got to do a couple technical things, and we're going to get started, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we have to let the people get all, yeah. All right. All right, so we're going to get some technical things done here. And if Tarita or you want to share the live, you can go on Indigo Worship Live show and you can just share it from there. It's fine. Okay, come on, we're almost here. Okay. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's make it do what it do. Let's get, I'll let the people hear a little bit of that coming in because we're not going to spend the whole time on that one. No, let me do my intro. And good evening, and welcome to a brand new and all new Indigo Worship Live here in Quarantine Studios. We are so grateful to have you guys join us tonight. And when I tell you I've got a special show tonight, I really, really mean it. We have none other than the incredible, incredible Benita Jones is joining with us. So before we get right into the interview, I just want to have you guys do what we always ask you to do. Hey, how about sharing this live tonight here on the Indigo Worship Live Show, as well as like us here on Facebook and also on Instagram at official Indigo Worship. As we are moving into the beginning of this show, I just want to remind you of an important date that we have, which is April the 25th. Man, this virtual music conference, Power Up, have we got a conference from you? And just off chance, our special guest will be doing a master class for us that night. So you definitely want to make sure you register for that and be in the virtual room for that. And you can register at shopindigo.com. That is shopindigo.com to get all information and also your registration for that conference. So at last, without further ado, help me welcome my special guest, Benita Jones. Benita.
Hey,
Benita. You know,
hey.
if I had a bucket list of people that I wanted on this show, it would be you, sis.
Really?
No, I'm very serious.
Really? That is so sweet.
You are just the consummate sweetheart.
Aww.
And I just love your transparency, and you're just so authentic in terms of your life and your life experiences. And even through all the ups and downs you probably feel that's happened in your life, God has been a steady compass for you. And
Yes.
so we have definitely benefited from the fact that your relationship has not wavered. It has grown tighter, and you dug your heels in deeper, and your notes get higher. And so I'm really happy and blessed to have you here. Not just as an artist, but also as a friend. And I'm sure all of our Philly, Delaware sisters are on here. So we not
Brigade.
Brigade is in here thick, I'm sure.
Yes.
So just so glad to have you here. And let's get right into it. But number one, usually you're at home, but today we're going to give you extend that grace. You are driving home with your daughter, who is now in high school track, correct?
Yes. And
so,
she had a track meet this afternoon. And so trying to be mom and trying to get everything done, and make sure that she feels supported. I definitely had to, make my way out to the track meet. And so we are actually probably about halfway between there and home now. And so I just decided to let me just pull over so that I can make sure that, my signal is steady and everything is good. But I'm excited to be on with you tonight, Patrice. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited for you. Well, your first ministry is your family. So that's the most important thing. Everything else is secondary. So I don't feel any kind of way about it. But I'm really happy about it. And so, Benita Jones, my goodness, ma'am, you're just doing your thing. And we're going to talk about this project that you have. But before we talk about the newest one, the latest one,
okay,
we are going to take a step back. Now we're going to do it early because we need to satisfy the worship appetites of our listeners.
Yes.
And we're going to take this thing back to 2002, 2003, 2004, I believe.
Yes.
When this song came out. And I don't think I have to say a lot about the song. I think the song will pretty much speak for itself. Well, let's go ahead and make this song happen.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, yes.
For waking me up and starting me on my way. For letting me see the dawning of a brand new day. I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done, for all that you've done for me. When I was down and out, didn't have couldn't get well. Lord, you healed my body, Jesus, and now I can tell. I wanna thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you for all you've done, for all that you've done for me. For all you've done for me. Oh, you've done. I wanna thank you for all you've done. Yes, God. Thank you for every little thing you've done. Everything you've done for me. You did it for me. Yeah, yeah. Does anybody believe that? You did it for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. You did it for me. Oh, yeah, yeah. You did it for me. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I wanna thank you, Lord, for doing it for me. Didn't have to do it, but you did. I wanna thank you, Lord. I love you, Lord, for being there for me. Lord, you really did it for me. Thank you.
My
From the
Lord.
bottom of my heart, Lord, I wanna thank you. You've been so good to me. You came down, Lord. You came to Calvary, and I wanna thank you. Oh, I wanna thank you. Lord, I bless your name. I give you glory and praise. I thank you for all you've done. I thank you for all you've done. When I was sick in my body, didn't know I was gonna get well. Lord, you healed me, and now I can
You know, I wanted to make sure I started that off because for many of us, actually my first time hearing you, I was working at Gospel Highway 11 here in the Philadelphia area. And Fred Blaine was still the music director and station manager for Gospel Highway Online. And when I walked into the studio one day, and you know that the sound in the radio station is so rich. So when I opened the door and I heard this song playing, I said, oh my snap. It's like the panels were in the studio were kind of shaking. And when I walked into the booth and it just sort of engulfed me. And I was instantly, and I'm not saying, I mean, literally instantly brought into a place of worship and gratitude.
Wow. Wow.
And that was my first introduction to your music in 2004.
Wow.
And so from that point on, it's just been, it's been on ever since. It really has been on ever since. So here we are, we're 2021, and I've just took you back to 2003, 2004, probably a little before that, because you're obviously recording the song. What's going through your mind as you're hearing that, Benita, from 10 plus years ago, almost 20 years ago?
Yeah, about 17 years ago. Um, Honestly, the first thing I thought was, wow, I sound really young. And then the next thing that I thought was, I had not I had not even begun to live or even live out the gratitude that I sang about. I was thankful then for all that he's done, but it means something completely different now.
Mm.
To say thank you for all that you've done, because there have been so many turns and twists, hills and valleys, mountains and low places in my story since I recorded that song. And so now to hear that, for all you've done, like, I didn't have any children at that point, I hadn't gone through any real major life crises at that point, but I was thankful. I meant every word of it. But it just means something different now. It means something so much, it's so much more probably urgent now than it was then, because he has done so much, because I've lived through so much, because I've experienced so much. Now to say thank you for all you've done, it literally means thank you for all of the good, thank you for all of the bad, because he's done so much for me. He's true to his word. Every single thing that he promised, he's done or he's doing. And it all works together for our good. And so my only response is to be thankful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as you said the same thing, I heard the young Benita, because there's actually, and you do this on a regular basis with your own conferences, teaching about worship and experience and sure the technique and what it's all about. So the cultivating even technically of your voice is still happening. Mm-hmm. And so where you find yourself now, and we're not going to go into any of your personal, that's your personal story, and you're going to have to write a book one day. I'm saying that to you, you're going to have to write a book one day, and you may be writing and not even telling anybody right now. So, but where you are musically right now, how do you feel about where you are, where God has brought you, and where do you see yourself ahead, maybe next 5, maybe in 10 years?
Wow. So where I am now, I don't know. I really am I feel like I'm in a place where I'm stretching, I'm growing, but at the same time, I'm coasting, if that makes any sense at all. Because I find myself, ever changing. Anything that's alive has to change. Living things, living organisms have to change in order to be alive. Mm-hmm. Being alive equates to change. So I'm changing daily. I'm changing, what I like, what I don't like, what I'm sensitive to, what makes me happy, what makes me cry. And so I'm open. I think now I'm more open to try new things. Mm-hmm. I'm more open to come out of my comfort zone just a little bit, even though listen at me, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Come out of my comfort zone, and not do what I've always done. But, willing to take risks, I guess, is where I am musically. And I think that shows some with the Entreating And you know, but at the same time, I think I am, when I say I'm coasting, I feel like I am familiar enough with me to be comfortable even when I'm not in a quote unquote comfortable place or comfortable setting musically.
Absolutely.
So I can trust myself enough to find comfort in a rough place or in a not so comfortable situation musically.
Well, there's a song that I told you I was going to pull out. I'm going into the catacombs. I'm going into in my bag. And
I
this song,
mean,
yes, I am going to my bag tonight. And for those of you joining me, my special guest is the beautiful Benita Jones, who is the worshiper extraordinaire, is on my show tonight. And I'm just so honored to have her here. We're going to go to 2010, talking about music and development. And this song is from the Word Remains album.
yes.
And this song, Repay You, I just want everybody to kind of really hone in on the technical, just the way you just navigate the song. So here it is, Repay You.
For waking me up this morning sounds cliche. For starting me on my way, I must thank you, Lord. Your love is so amazing. It is something I cannot explain, Lord, and I could never repay you. Your loving kindness, so real, so true. Life, health, and strength, your grace, brand new mercies, along with each new day. Your love for me is unchanging. It is something I cannot explain, Lord, and I could never repay you. Your loving kindness, so real, so true. If I had 10,000 tongues just for praise, it wouldn't be enough to measure to your due. Your love is unrestrained. It is something I cannot explain. No, and I could never repay you. Your loving kindness, so real, so true. Oh. Oh, 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 your love is so amazing, I cannot explain. Your love for me is unchanging from day to day. Your love is unrestrained, and it gives me strength. Your love for me is unchanging, come what may. Your love is so amazing, I cannot repay. Your love is so amazing.
I am so in love with that, because just the nuances of that. And I'm watching your response to even understanding in your own development from we went from thank you to here we are in 2010. And I can hear the growth and the maturity of what was happening. And so when you think of this song now, your love is so amazing. You could not repay. And I saw your head go down because I'm thinking, I'm looking at you thinking, there's so much in your mind that you're just like, wow, Lord, like really.
Yeah, that song came to me from a good friend of mine, Jocelyn Ford Keel. She wrote that song along with a young man by the name of B. Boyzo. And when I heard it, when I heard the demo, I was like, I have to do this song. Like, I love this song, Jocelyn. You have to let me do this song. And she was like, okay, yeah, sure, great. And listening back to it, first of all, I don't listen to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So to listen to myself, I always go to usually what I could have done better, what I should have done instead of, or what I could do to it now, or, all of those things. But I didn't feel that way listening to this song just now. For probably the first time ever in my life, I didn't feel that way. First of all, listening to the lyric, and then listening to the arrangement of the song, and just thinking about, again, that thankfulness, that gratitude for what God has done for me,
Yeah.
For the battles he's won for me, for the victory that he's given me, for the shame that he has, removed from my life, and the opportunities that loving him and serving him have afforded me.
Yeah.
I can't repay what he's done. I'm just honored to be able to do what I love and know that I'm in purpose and serve a God who is so good and so loving and so kind. I couldn't repay. And, this is probably the first time I've ever listened to a song with me singing and didn't cringe and didn't want to do something over.
That's
Wasn't
funny.
nitpicking. I mean, listening to Thank You, I was nitpicking, thinking about the recording process, and that record was produced by Asaph Alexander Ward. So just thinking about time spent, with him working on this project, and nitpicking on this is what happened, or this is how I had to sing this, or this is what I had to do, or I should not have said this particular word here. I should have said something else. But I didn't feel that listening to Repay You just now. It was, something that I think was an honest and true offering at the moment that still rings true now. And so I didn't feel that way.
I'm so glad, because I really didn't want this to make this, let's go too far down memory lane, but I really wanted to sort of evolve with you. Through the process of your music, and give people an opportunity to go back to definitely some favorites, and maybe some songs they're not familiar with, but definitely the fact that you're not just a worshiper, just belting out. You can do runs with the best of them. You created runs, but there is a skill that you do have with your voice that really is awesome. I also noticed your range. So what's your range? Are you 5 octaves or?
I actually don't know right now. I have not, I think the last time I tried to figure out what my range was, I was probably in high school, and I can't recall doing it since. So I'm not actually sure.
Okay.
I need to find out.
Yeah, because you hit the ceilings, and you were scraping the bottom. I'm like, okay, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that. And then,
Listen, I can sing bass with the best of them.
oh, come on now. Okay,
I
come on
love
now.
lady basses.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So I just want to take this opportunity once again to take a break and just say thank you everybody who's on here watching. They are definitely fans, and Benita groupies are on here. Roger Jimison's always go ahead talking about Roll Tide. So,
Yes, Roll Tide.
so Roger Jimison is joining us from Jimison and Associates, and so you've got a lot of fans on here. Now, I want to just say that also on April the 25th, we have been honored to have Ms. Jones, Ms. the one and only Ms. Jones is going to do a master class for the music conference that is sponsored and being brought to you by Indigo Inspire and Merge Music Group. So we're excited about that. So if you want more information, we'll have that link here on the page, as well as we also opening the door for independent artists who would like your music to come to the forefront to some of the nation's top radio personalities. And so we will have a spin room, sort of the listening room, where you can send your music ahead of time. They will critique your music, and you never know, you may get that airplay you've been waiting for. So we'll have more information about that as well. So this is an indie platform made for independent artists, and we're so happy to share it. And Benita and I are so happy to be able to share with you what God has given us. So I'm excited about that as well. I'm excited about this as well. So Ms. Jones, what is on tap now? How do I do this? Walk very carefully.
No, just go for it.
Okay, let's go for it. So are you still currently worship leader?
I am.
Okay.
So I wasn't, but I am again. So without going into a whole lot of detail, most people know that last year I was not I guess visibly leading worship on Sundays, even though it was a pandemic and, everybody had to change their life and the way they did church and all of that. I was noticeably, let me say that way, noticeably missing from the Sunday morning church narrative during 2020. That was because I was let go from my position as worship pastor at All Nations Atlanta by the previous pastors. And I spent 2020 retired. That's what I said.
Okay. I'm
just going to retire. I'm just going to let the young people have it. It'll be fine. I've done church for 100 years, literally.
Yeah.
Doing between 3 and 5, actually between 4 and 5 Sunday morning services every Sunday for years and years and years. And so 2020, actually, it wasn't the way that I wanted to receive rest, but it actually turned out to be the rest that I needed.
Wow.
Just, mentally, physically, it gave me a chance to be at home with my children, to engage with them, to be present in their lives without always having to rush off here, there, and the next place because of church. And it showed me another side to the faithfulness of God. I've been in church all my life. I've sown seeds. I've given when it hurt. I gave when I had it. I gave when I didn't have it. And 2020 allowed me to receive a harvest of sorts of that giving, of that sowing, not only even the sowing that I did monetarily, but the sowing that I did into people, as it relates to, praying for people and, covering them and doing, sowing into them, encouraging them, supporting them, all of that sort of thing. And God really showed me another side of his faithfulness that I have never experienced before 2020. I did not work from March until what's this, March of this year. So 12 full months.
Mm-hmm.
I did not work, but I did not go lacking at
Wow.
all. Um, and that's not to boast on me, because I didn't have a significant amount of money saved going into, the pandemic.
It's God's faithfulness.
So it was God's faithfulness who
Yeah.
kept me, kept my family. I kid about it, but it's still true. I didn't miss a meal. I gained some quarantine weight.
Girl, please. Hence
Because of
the jacket. Hence the jacket.
listen, hence the tight shot on my face.
Okay. Okay. So.
But God is faithful, and probably, I don't know, November, December of last year, there started some talks about, the possibility of me coming back to reprise my role and position as worship pastor at All Nations Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And so as of March of this year, it is official that I am once again the worship pastor at All Nations Worship Assembly Atlanta, under the pastorate of Dr. Hart Ramsey. I think the Lord knew too that it had to be somebody like Dr. Ramsey
Mm-hmm.
for me to even consider coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And so God is good. He's good. It's not a cliche. His mercy endures to all generations. His truth endures. I'm so grateful and glad about that. And I'm honestly excited about the future. I don't know. I've always felt like, my time here in Atlanta is kind of fluid and transient almost. So I don't know how long I'll be here, because, I want to be married, and my husband might not be in Georgia. Okay. So I got to be ready to pick up my bags.
Okay. He may be watching.
He might be. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. We're not matchmaking here on Indigo Worship.
No, we're not.
Okay. Awesome.
But I am leading worship again. And I have felt probably now I feel more like myself leading worship than I have in a very long time. And I don't really know how to explain that or elaborate on that. I just feel more at home in who God made me to be right now in this space than I have in a very long time.
Well, during 2020, you released a project called the Entreating.
Yes.
Now, before I play a song from that project, I want to know exactly how, where did this come from? How did you end up just deciding, I'm going to do this album?
So I entered into, had the opportunity to have some meetings with Mr. Bryant Scott, who is the president of Ty Scott Records. And he told me about this amazing opportunity that and partnership that Ty Scott has with Integrity Music. And Integrity Music is known for, releasing worship music. And so, we had a couple meetings. I went down to Nashville and talked with the people in Integrity, and they were really wanting to not only support my ministry as a worship leader and as a global, I guess you could say, worship leader, but also start to bridge the gap between the Christian and the gospel, side of praise and worship music. And so had the opportunity to partner with them to do that. And the Entreating was the result of that. So I began to write songs, which I hadn't written really. I wrote a few songs, co-wrote a few songs with Chandler Moore and others for the All Nations Worship Assembly project that came out in 2019, I think. And then, but before then, I had not written anything. Like, I was going through this season of just writer's block. I just felt like there was nothing coming, just frustrated creatively in that area. And so I began to have writing sessions in the summer of 2019 for the Entreating, and I got to write with some amazing writers on the Christian and gospel side of praise and worship music. And the Entreating was the result of it. I sat down one evening, and I decided we're going to do the live recording as the opening night of Evolve You, which is the worship conference that I've done. Didn't do it last year, but the 3 years prior to last year. And decided, we're going to do it the opening night, and it's going to be, just a night of worship. And so sitting there with my team, and they said, well, we need a word. We need something to call it, to you really solidify what this night is and what it means, and, the mood of the night. And the Entreating came to me from Ruth 1:16, where Ruth tells her mother-in-law, Naomi, entreat me not to leave you, and don't ask me not to follow you, because where you go, I'll go. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. And, God has, and this is how I explained it the night of the concert, or the worship night. God promised in his word that he would never leave us. He would never forsake us. So I know that he won't leave me. But the Entreating really is about me making sure that my perspective and my sight is always on God, even in hard moments when I want to leave him. Life can be so hard sometimes that it will cause you to walk away from the promises of God. And I don't ever want to be in a position where life has beaten me down so bad. And life has beaten me. Listen, we have all gone through some things. But I don't ever want to be in a position, and I think that was the heart posture of the night, and in calling the night the Entreating, it was essentially saying, God, don't ever let me walk away from you. I don't want to be remanded to my own recognizances and handed over to my own self. I don't want to be handed over to a reprobate mind and just be able to walk away from you. I want you to keep me close to you. And so I said, well, since we're going to call it the Entreating, we got to write a song called the Entreating. And so that's where that came from. Keep me so close, knit my heart to yours. Oh, don't let me go. No other help I know.
That's awesome. And it's very interesting that you did this and wrote this album, completed this album, and 2020 took a whole nother turn for you.
Listen,
that is not, I just put that timeline frame together. Wait a minute. So what your heart's desire was, now I'm going to put you in a position where what you wrote is going to match what you say you want.
Yep. And that's exactly.
An entire year, you're just saying you did not work, but he kept you. You didn't miss a meal.
Listen.
He kept your family.
Yes.
And you did not leave him.
No.
No matter the circumstances, whatever the people think or whatever does think, it really doesn't matter, because that really was about, can I trust you to really keep your word based off of what you said you wrote about me?
Absolutely. I always say,
Wow.
I always say in church, we have to be careful, to young songwriters, we have to be careful of the songs that we write and the songs that we sing, because there's going to come a test, a trial, a tribulation, a situation, a circumstance, something that will cause you to have to live out those words, that you cannot just arbitrarily speak words, sing words into the atmosphere and not think that you're not going to be held, to the weight of what that means, what those songs mean. And, and I wrote those songs for the Entreating, thinking that I'm writing about how God brought me from a past season, how God kept me in a past wilderness season, how God God's good because of all of the things he did and all of those things.
Yeah.
But in actuality, God was telling me, no, it's not just about your history, Benita. It's about my consistency.
Yeah.
It's about my faithfulness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about who I am. Stop focusing on what I did then and know me for who I am right now. I'm still the one who puts together broken things. I'm still the one. So yeah, the Entreating is a different record for me.
Well, I'm not going to play the single that was released off of that, which I told you that ahead of time, which is Good God. But I am going to play off of that incredible album, an incredible live recording. And you can find that video on YouTube that was put out by Integrity Music. But this one's called Said and Done. And honey, hunty, let me just go ahead and let y'all just get some of this.
You said you'd never leave me, walking right beside me, even in the valley. I know you are with me. You gave me every reason that I should still believe in you. Your Lord in every season. I know you are with me. I know that you are good. I know. When it's all said and done, you're still on the throne. Yeah. When it's all said and done, you're still God alone. Yeah. Well, devil is a liar, but you're my provider. And even in the fire, I know you are with me. Hey, yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the glory. And you're with me. I know that you are good. I know. When it's all said and done, still on the when it's all said and done, you're still God alone. You're still God alone. He's not a man and he can't lie. His word is true, can I testify? If he said it, he will do it. I believe it. He's not a man and he can't lie. His word is true, can I testify? If he said it, he will do it. I believe it. Yeah, he's not a man and he can't lie. His word is true. His word is true, can I testify? If he said it, he will do it. I believe it. He's not a man and he can't lie. His word is true, can I testify? If he said it, he will do it.
Ma'am,
Ooh!
listen here. I don't care what the label said. That should have been the single.
Listen.
Nobody called me, but I'm telling you, they need to start calling me, because I'm telling you, that right there, I'm telling you, I told you earlier, I was sitting at my dining room table. I'm telling you right now, everybody live. If I had a wig, I would have taken it off and thrown it. If God don't do it, it won't get done.
Won't get done.
Okay?
It just won't.
It just won't. Well, we are so thankful to have you here, because tonight he did do it and it did get done. I finally got you on this show, and I'm so excited to have had, allow you, just to come here and be here, but also you allowed me to have this time with you tonight. I know you're going home with your family, but Benita, thank you so much. And I know our listening audience and watching audience, they're just so thrilled to be able to see you tonight. And so I just really thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Patrice. Anytime you want me to come on, I'm willing to come on.
Hey, I'm holding you to that. You have to do a co-host.
No, absolutely. Listen, absolutely.
We may have to do a co-host show. So we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, everybody, we are about to sign off. Once again, reminding you on April the 25th, the Power Up Virtual Music Conference will be happening, and we'll leave all the details here in the comments, also in our posts. You can also find in the information on the Merge Music Group, and I want to thank our partners, Sherry Johnson, as well as Roger Jimison of Merge Music Group. We have come together to put this conference on for you, and we've got some incredible people. Another masterclass will also be done by the one and only Jackie Patillo, will also be doing a masterclass, who is the president of the Gospel Music Association. And so we've got some heavy hitters coming in the door just for our indie artists. So please register. It's not too late for the early one. So it's just $15 to register online early. And after that, the price goes up to $25. So it's a minimal expense to have top quality people to give you and impart into you as you build on your inspirational music career. So once again, thank you. Benita, let everybody know how they can follow you and contact you.
So on every social media platform, my handle is at Benita Jones Live. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever. And you can follow me at Benita Jones Live.
Absolutely. And the Entreating and all of her music, you can find them on all digital outlets, and Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music. This woman is everywhere, and she is worth all of our support. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, being on and just being a part of a very special evening with my friend Benita Jones. I want to also take the opportunity, she didn't say anything, she may be in the car, Julia Jackson, thank you so much, sis, who's also part of the brigade. Some of y'all already know. But anyway, so we want to take this opportunity once again. Hey, if you like shows like this, please like our Facebook page here on Indigo Worship Live Show, and follow us on Instagram at official Indigo Worship. Thank you all so much. Benita, love you. Have a great night.
Love you too.
Night.
Thank you.
Everybody else, have a wonderful, blessed night. Be safe. God bless you. And I always tell you on Indigo Worship Live Show, it's not just a vibe, baby. It's a whole mood. You guys have a good night. Take care.